starting just a few seconds here. Just a few seconds. Just give me a few seconds here. Coming up on it. You will learn. Your state of mind is irrelevant. Resistance is futile. I screwed that up. Wait a second. Let me do that one again. You will learn. Resistance is futile. Your state of mind is irrelevant. There we go. Oh, well. This is Sunday, the 21st of July, 2019. And you're listening to Thunder Talk with your host, Thunder Bear of the Courage family. All right, cool. And I am broadcasting. So, let's see. Let me just move this down right here. I do not have very much in the way of screens here to do this with. All right, so here we go. All right, that's better. So tonight I am going to be speaking a bunch about law, courts, and stuff like that. I actually am going to be going to court. I have a client, actually, contract and everything. And yeah, I'll be going to court tomorrow, early freaking tomorrow morning. But you know what? They don't have anything. There is no subject matter jurisdiction because there is no contract. There is simply no contract. There's no oath or affirmation on the complaint either. In other words, no man or woman is swearing that under penalty of perjury that the complaint is true. So the charges are not true, valid, and lawful. You know, there's a whole bunch of stuff we're going to be throwing up at them. Yeah, there's absolutely no contract. In order for there to be a case, there has to be a contract. They're never when the prosecutor's office is doing the complaint, no man or woman will put their name down on that complaint where it says, I swear under penalty of perjury that, such and such is true or whatever. They always just have this scribble mark. If they said, well, yes, we do have someone, I'd say, oh, that's great. That's fantastic. Bring them forth. Please, by all means, bring them forth. And if they do, it's like, okay, well, where's the contract? Please produce the contract that these charges are derived from. See, the thing is, they're doing everything in commerce. Okay, technically maritime commerce, maybe. I don't know. They got the 3 crowns. They got the Templar crown, based out of actually, from what I just read today, the International Bar Association or something like that. I've got it in my files here, and I'd be going over some of that. There's I was reading a file called Theft by Deception, and it was kind of interesting. I didn't get to read it all, though. I really wish I had time. I'm going to have to try to read it. But yeah. So, oh, by the way, if something happens to me because the court does not have jurisdiction, which is highly unlikely, by the way, that something will happen to me, just know that I don't have any weapons. Okay. I am not going up there to commit violence or anything like that. I'm just going to go up there and expose them, but they're criminals. That's it. They're criminals, pure and simple. Well, a little more than just expose them, I suppose. But yeah, I mean, I'm not going up there with any violent intent or anything. I'm not that kind of guy that will get really violent on them. They got those English crown agents in there called sheriff's deputies, or actually bailiffs there. But they are sheriff's deputies, and they got guns and they got bulletproof vests. And it's like, it'd be stupid for me to try to do something, physical against them. I mean, absolutely insane. But, with the way they are sometimes, you know, so far I've never had any problems, real problems. That is, I mean, yeah, except that one little time back when I didn't know better than to, be outside the little fence when I convene a court of public record. Try to do it inside the fence. The deputy slammed me on the table and said, "Shut up, shut up, shut up, shut up." That's when you know you're onto something right there. You know, when the deputy is telling you, "Shut up, shut up, shut up, shut up," when all you did was just simply say, "I hereby convene a court of public record." But I was inside the fence at the time, and they could construe that as a contract. That was a long, long time ago. I learned a whole lot since then. You know, but I know the court can't win if it plays by any kind of rules. The UCC, which is federal common law, or just just any kind of real law. Well, I say real law. The only real law right now is, well, my laws and common law, laws of my tribe, and any other tribe, I suppose. And there's the common law of the land. My laws act in accordance with the common law of the land. But yeah, if they're going by any kind of law, then we've got their asses. Even if they go through a whole trial, which is it's like, well, there's no subject matter jurisdiction. There is no subject matter jurisdiction. We got all kinds of I got all kinds of little tricks and stuff. But even if they go through an entire trial and get to right before sentencing, well, in that little area, okay, you've got a right to the right of allocution. Okay. I know it sounds confusing on the radio. Right as in RIGHT, and then right as in RITE, of allocution. That means that the judge speaks to you directly, not to any attorney, but to you, but to the defendant. In other words, the judge has to speak to the defendant in that particular thing, and the judge will say something like, "Did you wish to say anything?" At that point, you can challenge the subject matter jurisdiction, just like I forgot what his rank was at the time. Used to be known as General Custer. You remember the Battle of Little Bighorn? Yeah. When he was like a cadet or something, I think it was a cadet, he was placed on trial, and they got all the way through the trial. No, it was after sentencing, I think. It's after sentencing. I'm sorry. It's after sentencing. Got through all the way through the trial, and they said, "Okay, this is a sentence. Sentence. You're going to be sent away for, I think it was like 4 years or something like that." And they said, "Do you have anything to say?" And he basically just said, "Hey, I didn't sign any oath." And the whole thing was based on the oath, right? The whole trial was based on the oath. And they said, wait a moment. And they went and temporarily adjourned for a moment and went to look up his oath. And sure enough, he didn't sign the oath. And they came back and said, "Okay, you're free to go." He had taken that right of allocution, and just did something with he actually got the court to admit that it had no subject matter jurisdiction whatsoever. And speaking of oaths, I just found out today that some of the judges sometimes do not take their oaths. And they can get in trouble for it. They 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 do that. They do not sign if they don't sign their oath. It's like a get out of jail free card for them. But anything, if they don't have that oath on record, any decision that they make can be nullified. Okay, so there's that. Um. So anyway, yeah, the whole thing is you have a what's called a common law right of contract. Okay, any living man or living woman has this right of contract, and um, there's these requirements for a contract. In fact, let me look in my sword and shield method. I just gotta let's see, scroll up here and go into one of my folders here, this one right here, and get my sword and shield method, and I will go over. Here it is. As soon as it pulls it up here, I will go over the requirements for a contract. Hey, oh, by the way, the chat room is open. I can't see it right at this very moment because I'm looking at my sword and shield method. But yeah, there's hang on here. Here we go. Contract. There must be an agreement. That's offer and acceptance. There must be consideration. That's like payment that's due or whatever. Um, like money, services, goods, whatever, in exchange for money, services, goods. Okay. All parties must possess the mental capacity to comprehend the contract, and there cannot be fraud. Meaning that whoever you're making a contract out with can't be acting in bad faith. Okay. So, yeah, there is no contract. Under those requirements for a contract, there is no contract. Every contract that the government has that you've ever made with any government is most likely fraud. Okay. Pure and simple. Like driver's licenses, for example. Did they tell you that that's a contract and a commercial operation, and what you're doing is getting a license to use the legal person? No, they didn't tell you any of that stuff. You know. So, oh yeah. By the way, I am simulcasting, I guess you can say, on YouTube. I don't know how much longer that's going to last, though. Seriously, I looked into this new thing, this new type of YouTube, I guess, called library. It's LBRY. They took all the vowels out of it, so library. Um, and I downloaded the app for it or whatever it was, the software for it onto my computer, but it doesn't work because my computer is really old, and for some reason it just doesn't take a certain software. I've got software on here that would allow me to have a guest on, but it doesn't work. It's just my computer. It's a really old computer, and I don't know. Oh, NASA lies about everything is join the chat session. That's great. I always trip over those words. Chat session. Um. So anyway, yeah. Let's see. Something you need to know: all state courts are courts of record. Okay, those bar courts are not courts of record, though. Those bar courts are private courts, and you know this because they take statutory pleadings and not common law pleadings. They stopped taking common law pleadings in 1954. Also, you know it because the judge is wearing a robe. Okay. For the judge to be in doing a court of record, the judge cannot be wearing that robe. All right. Cannot be wearing the robe. The judge must take that robe off and step down from the bench. I've had that experience when a judge took off his robe, stepped down from the bench, okay, and held a court of record. I didn't know at the time. I mean, it happened so freaking fast. I didn't know exactly at the time that's what he was doing until it was over. I mean, it was just like one thing. He said one thing to me, and then that's it. It was over with, basically. Well, maybe a couple of little things anyway, but I wasn't really paying attention. I didn't think, oh wait, he's holding forth a court of record. Damn it! I could have taken advantage of that, but it's okay because I had already placed documents into the record, and that was my court of record. Those documents, you know. So, yeah. Uh, Anytime you see a judge take off their robe and step down from the bench and come out to talk to you, that's a court of record. Okay. Take advantage of it. If you don't know how to handle a court of record, you better learn. Okay. Of course, if you don't know how to handle a court of record, then, you know, then you probably won't get a court of record. Um, I've got I've got some files that I had totally forgotten about from Carl Lentz. Well, I mean, I didn't actually directly get it from him. I got it from his website, whatever. And one of those files was how to flip a court into a Queen's Bench court. Okay. Someone on Facebook said, "Oh, well, that doesn't work anymore," and apparently not in Washington. But I'm not sure how he handled it. You know, so I don't know. It should work. It should work just fine. But I've got all kinds of other stuff too. So if we do that tomorrow and it doesn't work, it's like, no big deal. I've got like so many other things, so many other ways of flipping the court. You know. Fortunately, my client has his certificate of live birth. That's a shield. That's a freaking shield. You know, and it's one that they cannot get through. As long as he maintains that, and that's his only identification, he's good. He's good to go. You know, they can't touch him. He's not the defendant. The defendant is never a living man or a living woman. I know that from firsthand experience, just from being in court. You know, and of course, I know that also that they're just criminally insane. There's no doubt about that. They are just criminally insane. Um, I suppose you can ask a judge what authority their court is operating under. You know, I haven't done that one yet. I have asked a judge point blank, "Hey, is your court an Article 3 court?" And of course, she wouldn't answer a straight answer. She said, "Oh, you need to see an attorney about that." Why would I need to see an attorney about that? She doesn't know what her court is. She knows damn well her court's not an Article 3 court, you know. So any judge tries to pull that crap on me again, I will simply say, "Oh, I take that to mean that your court is not an Article 3 court. Oh, you're committing fraud. Pure and simple. You're committing fraud." Because the peoples out here believe your court to be an Article 3 court under the Constitution of the United States. You know? So yeah. There's just nothing but con artist. It's like, well, if you really want to hold forth a court, over someone, then hey, make it a court of record. Okay? Seriously, make it a damn court of record, not these damn private bar courts. The judge are bar judges. All the attorneys are bar attorneys. That's private. That's all private. They're private courts. So you have a prosecutor. Oh yeah, it is. NASA lies about everything. It is an omission fraud. Yes, omission fraud. Sorry. Yeah, a lie of omission, and therefore a fraud. Yeah. So oh, where was I? Oh yeah, isn't isn't. Oh, he says isn't. Is it? Oh, isn't a mission for? Wait, I don't know. Is it a mission? Oh, is it a mission fraud? Yes, in a way, yeah. It, I think he's saying it isn't. I don't know. I don't know quite what he's saying right now. But anyway, yeah, it's pure fraud. There's no doubt about that. They oh yeah, that's where I was going with this. The prosecuting attorney brings forth the charges to, and he's a bar attorney bringing forth the charges to a bar judge, and the bar judge appoints a bar defender, public defender. You know, unless you're really rich or something, you know. And say, "Oh, you need an attorney. You have to have an attorney." Well, why do you need an attorney to face their court? You know, why do you need an attorney to face their court? Because it's a private court. If it was really a state court, which is a court of record, then you would not need you would not be required to have an attorney. And of course, there's a Lopez waiver, but guess what? You go and sit down and read that damn Lopez waiver. It says that they can refuse. Oh, well, they can refuse a contract. Then that's because that's what that Lopez waiver is. It's a contract, and they all sign it if they accept it. The defense attorney signs it if he agrees to it. The prosecuting attorney signs it if he agrees to it, and the judge signs it if he agrees to it. It's a contract with the court. And because of the fraudulent nature of the courts, it's very difficult to basically not sign the thing, you know, because if you don't sign it, if you've gone too far into the system, okay, like my client I did not have him as a client until he was already doing readiness hearings. Okay. But I know how to get out of all the stuff right at arraignment, you know, and it's so much easier at arraignment. In arraignment, you know, you don't have an attorney necessarily. It depends. If you're in custody, then they will force that attorney onto you. If you're not in custody, no, they can't force the attorney onto you. That's it. They can't force the attorney. Because I was in arraignment once, and I just, you know, I went up there as a notice to appear, right? I went before that judge, and they were trying to make a contract with me. And there was this attorney that kind of slided up, or whatever the word is. Whatever. She kind of slid up next to me in a way. And the judge turns to her and says, "Can you do anything?" And she says, "No." It's like, well, who is this lady? You know, I knew she was an attorney, but it's like, yeah, I should have said right then and there. It's like, I don't even know who this lady is. I don't want to know. Lady, get away from me. What are you doing here? What are you doing trying to stand next to me? You know, just get away from me. But I didn't say that. Anyway, yeah, they wanted me to sign a paper, and they never had anything filled out on it. It was, you know, it was a form, but they didn't fill out the defendant's name. They didn't fill out the charges. They didn't fill out anything. They wanted me to sign it. And I said, well, I can't sign it until you fill something out. So eventually there, after about, I don't know, maybe 30 minutes or more, they grabbed me, they tossed me out the front door of the courthouse. Get out of here. You're interfering with our business. Don't come back. You know? And then they created a warrant for the arrest of the legal person because the legal person did not show up. I was there, but I wasn't the legal person. That shows you the fraud. I mean, it was just absolutely credible, in your face fraud and insanity. Think about how insane you have to be to say the defendant didn't show up. There was a live man there, but the defendant didn't show up. Oh, well, that means the defendant and the live man are two totally different things. The defendant is a piece of paper. They're looking for a dead man. All caps name, just like on tombstones. And like I've said in my shows before, like I think maybe uh, 2 or 3 shows back or something, I don't know. The style manual for the state of California courts. It's not all caps, all uppercase letters. It's capitalized for a man's name or whatever, or even a person's name. Okay, a person as in a legal fiction. The first letter is capitalized, but the rest are in lowercase for each of the names. You can be a person in society, I suppose. You can be what they call a natural person, and they do define natural person as human being, but I'm kind of iffy on that definition because there is a definition for human being that says monster. A human being is monster. That's what they think of us human beings, by the way. That was in a dictionary in 1933, I believe. So yeah, um, yeah, that's what they think of us as. We are something that is so I don't know how you put that. Well, let's put it this way. Envision what you call a monster. Okay. A really scary monster. Well, that's how they think of us. So are they human? No, of course not. Not the top level, the very, very top level. No. The was it Buckingham Palace or whatever admitted it was a press release, a freaking press release where they said the queen was not human. I told my mom about this, when I was talking to her on Saturday, well, several Saturdays back, I think it was. And she said, "Oh no, I don't believe that. I can't believe that." It's like, why would they do that? No, of course not. Maybe it's just a mistake or something. I said to her, "Look, that's a press release. Now, when you're doing a public relations, okay, something like that comes out, you get on top of it fast. All right." You get on top of it fast and say, "Oh, well, no, that was a hoax, or someone broke in and to our server or whatever." You know, all kinds of excuses for it or whatever, but nothing, dead silence. They put it out into the public. Granted, they did not put it out as publicly as they should have. They didn't use their influence over the mainstream media to really publicize the hell out of it, but they put it out. They put you on notice. The queen, the royal family, is not human. This is not a conspiracy theory here. This is something directly from them. How's it a theory? How is it conspiracy? Unless you say, well, it's conspiracy and they kept it from us for so long. Have they really? I mean, that kind of stuff has kind of been out there for quite a while. They're demons that are somehow manifesting in the physical plane. There are those that say that the demons have to go and get this adrenochrome from like little kids, little scared, children, in order to maintain their physical form. I guess the pressure on the queen was so much because everyone was starting to look at her, say, oh, the queen, there's all these rumors that the queen was killing little kids and stuff, and doing all kinds of stuff. And maybe the pressure on her was too great and she couldn't get her supply. And maybe that's the reason why she shapeshifted in front of thousands of Britons. Thousands. And then of course they had to do a press release saying, oh, well, even though she's not human, she is still your queen. And we hope that you embrace her or something like that, whatever. It's like, well, anyone says that I'm crazy and following crazy conspiracy theories, it's like, well, that was there. Are you going to deny that was a press release? I mean, sure, it was on and then it's gone now. But they have not, to the best of my knowledge so far, they have not released anything else, saying, hey, that was just a, hoax or someone's, spoofing us or whatever. So far, I haven't seen anything like that. And even though it didn't really make too much, get too deep into the mainstream media, it's still mainstream enough. So yeah, Oh well. Anyway, I've got lots of. Oh, let's see here. I got to move the chat over a little bit here. I'm gonna have to just cover up the Skype. I've got. Let's see. Hang on. I've got these documents that are really fascinating. Oh, excuse me. Let's see. I got to pull it up here because this is really fascinating stuff. Let's see. Sorry, I gotta look through to my stuff. I've got so many files. Oh my god, I've got so many files. And it's hard to keep everything straight and everything. Okay, right here. Yeah, the secret of special maritime jurisdiction. Oh, in fact, I've got two of them in here. I got an extra copy for some reason. Let's see. There was some. Let's see. Let's scroll back up because there's some really cool stuff in here. The requirement to reveal the nature and cause. The author has made and has witnessed others make numerous demands for bills of particular and more definite statements to determine the nature and cause of these penal offenses that we sometimes find ourselves charged with. It is enough to say here, oh crap, I just blew through the break. I am sorry. I've got to play the break. I blew right through it. Hang on a second. I'm going to play the break and I'll be right back.
You're listening to Flat Earth Radio Live, and this is the Flat Earth Man, and all you're watching is a puppet show. All you're watching is a puppet show, yeah. Oh, well, it's a stage. The whole world's a stage, man. You're listening to Flat Earth Radio Live.
Find yourself mastering the beat. Tune in and listen every Saturday for the Geocentric Eccentric with West Blaze Music, our resident musician and spiritual brother in Christ, Yahushua. The Geocentric Eccentric with West Blaze Music.
Check this
Gets
out.
its message in the music time once again, and only Flat Earth Radio has guided. Saturday, the true Sabbath. lend a knee and lend an ear. Listen every Saturday for the Geocentric Eccentric with West Blaze Music.
Check this out.
Starting 5 o'clock p.m. on the West Coast, 8 o'clock p.m. on the East Coast,
Check this out.
and 7 o'clock p.m. Central.
This out.
The Geocentric Eccentric.
The Geocentric Eccentric.
With West Blaze Music. Only Flat Earth Radio has got you. The Geocentric Eccentric with West Blaze Music.
As bad as I wanna be. FlatEarthRadioLive.com. The Ferret.
Hey, John, you don't look so good. What's the matter?
Oh, I always feel tired and run down. You know, no energy. I think it's my poor diet or something.
Well, you know, John, I used to feel the same way. Couldn't sleep at night, couldn't stay awake in the daytime. That's when my doc told me that I had leaky gut syndrome.
Oh, wow. What'd you do? Surgery?
No way. I tried Tarsal. Tarsal is made with the finest, purest cream of tartar and MSM sulfur. Makes it desirable in today's toxic world. Tarsal is a white powder that you take every day with water or juice. Taken regularly, Tarsal can clear your leaky gut right up.
Tarsal, huh? So what else does Tarsal do?
Tarsal can help with acne, psoriasis, constipation, gallstones, heartburn, hemorrhoids, hypertension, IBS, and UTI.
Wow, that's quite a formula.
Yes, it is. And Tarsal also helps you to relax, repels insects, and can help you stop smoking.
So how do I find Tarsal?
That's easy. Just go to tarsal.com or call 619-363-1264. Try a bottle today and begin feeling normal again.
TARSUL.com. Try Tarsal today.
Asking these questions that no one ever asked before because we didn't even think about this. I think it's like God unlifting the veil, you know? He's starting to show people, look, you want to believe this? It's a lie. People are asking questions and truth is going to prevail. It's like, yeah, the biggest problem is that we're not able to asking questions, so therefore we can't assimilate. And, you know, people are asking questions and truth is going to prevail.
Join your host, Shelley Lewis, every Wednesday afternoon at 5 o'clock p.m. Pacific Daylight Time, 7 o'clock Central, and 8 o'clock Eastern Standard Time. Down the Rabbit Hole with Shelley Lewis.
Down the Rabbit Hole with host Shelley Lewis. Only here on Flat Earth Radio Live. The Ferret.
Yeah, I mean, it's laughable what is, tried to pass off as, and you know what's so great now about YouTube and about these video platforms is, back in the day, you got one shot to see this stuff on television and that was it. I mean, you believed it was true. You saw it once, maybe you saw it on a rerun, maybe on the other news channel, they would rerun some of this footage. But now it's all been released and people have the ability to look at it and to pick it apart and to really think about it. Like we talked earlier about the lunar landing. Now the people have the technology at their fingertips on their laptops to be able to speed up the lunar landing footage. You have the land rover going around and you have the guys hopping around in slow motion. Speed that up 200% and it looks like they went out in the desert and film that. But here's something that I'm going to tell you as a video guy. Here's why I believe that the lunar landing was faked. Because there is no way you can have a power source that strong at that time in history, and there's no way you could transmit that video signal all the way to Earth. Absolutely 100% not. Let me tell you something. I have just on my if I have a handheld video camera and I went and let's say I'm shooting a scene and the producer wants to see what I'm shooting. So they have a transmitter in their hand and they have a battery on my camera. The battery that I have is about the size of a brick. It's more square, but it's about the same mass as a brick. And it only lasts for maybe an hour and a half. And that signal only goes a couple hundred feet. Now you're going to tell me that on that teeny little spaceship with that teeny little camera, they're going to have enough power to transmit a full color video signal all the way down to Earth. And I can also tell you this, that when they promised a full color video signal, the station that broadcasted the lunar landing, they were pissed because they weren't getting raw video feed. What they were getting was called a kineoscope. And for those of you who don't know what that is, that was an editing process used up until the late 1990s. And I've actually seen the kineoscope technology and utilized it when I worked in a film lab, and it's very interesting. Basically, it's an editing tool. So you have a screen, basically it's a television screen, and you shoot that with a film camera. So now it's on 16 millimeter film. So what they did with those videos, in theory, why you see a black and white image of the lunar landing, although they claim the full color videos exist, was what NASA says they did was transmitted the full color video signal, filmed it on a kinescope, black and white on 16 millimeter film, and then released that to the networks. So therefore, it was not a live event, because to get film processed, it takes hours, and it's a whole process that generally takes about 6 hours to complete, even with the most efficient film laboratories. So why would they give this crappy, grainy, black and white film image when they could have broadcasted color, which at the time the networks were pissed that they didn't have the ability to do, that NASA denied them? But anyway, that's neither here nor there. The whole kineoscope thing, that's a side note. My thing is, there is no way with that technology and with batteries being as big and as weak and as heavy as they were, you could have broadcast that signal from the moon. Impossible.
All right. I just want to thank everyone who has donated to lvrlive.com. We really appreciate it. If you'd like to donate to help the station, keep running, and maybe even get us some equipment so that I can carry out interviews, just please go up to lvrlive.com and donate. Okay, there's a donate button. Just click on that and follow the instructions. And we all would greatly appreciate that. We are growing as a station, and it takes money. It does take money. So yeah, just help us out if you can. Thanks. Okay, back. So let me start over on this one here. The requirement to reveal the nature and cause. The author has made and has witnessed others make numerous demands for bills of particular and more definite statements to determine the nature and cause of these penal offenses that we sometimes find ourselves charged with. It is enough to say here that the slimness, stonewalling, and sliminess, stonewalling, and just plain blatant viciousness of the courts and prosecutors in their attempt to conceal the true nature and cause of the accusation can be astonishing. The Sixth Amendment makes this right to know the nature and cause mandatory. Why are they, judges and prosecutors, so bent on concealing this mandatory information? The Supreme Court has held the constitutional right to be informed of the nature and cause of the accusation entitles the defendant to insist that the indictment apprise him of the crime charged with such reasonable certainty that he can make his defense and protect himself after judgment against another prosecution on the same charge. No indictment is sufficient if it does not allege all of the ingredients that constitute the crime. Where the language of a statute is, according to the natural import of the words, fully descriptive of the offense, it is sufficient if the indictment follows the statutory phraseology, but where the elements of the crime have to be ascertained by reference to the common law or others or to other statutes, it is not sufficient to set forth the offense in the words of the statute. The facts necessary to bring the case within the statutory definition must also be alleged. Okay, and they do give citations here. I'm just skipping the citations. So yeah, notice they said by reference to the common law or to other statutes. Okay. Yeah. Think about it. I mean, really, they are trying to hide things. Okay. And of course, like I said, they're private bar courts. Okay. Anyway, let me continue. If an offense cannot be accurately and clearly described without an allegation that the accused is not within an exception contained in the statutes, an indictment which does not contain such allegation is defective. Despite the omission of obscene particulars, an indictment in general language is good if the unlawful conduct is described so as reasonably to inform the accused of the nature of the charge sought to be established against him. That's cites another case, Rosen versus United States. The right to notice of accusation is so fundamental a part of procedural due process that the states are required to observe it. Article 6 of the Constitution of the United States mandates that all the judges of every state are bound to the supreme law of the land, and all judicial officials shall take an oath or affirmation to support the Constitution. The office of judge is an office of public trust under the Constitution, and this trust creates a duty and obligation on the judges. This author submits that every judge in every local, state, and federal court is in breach of the duty to reveal the nature and cause of their quasi-criminal maritime penal charges that they are misrepresenting to the people to be crimes in common law. Yeah, in other words, they're trying to tell you that their charges that you are committing a crime within the common law, and that these charges are representing that, and they're not. They're representing a fraudulent contract is what they're representing. Okay. Let's see. Fraudulent concealment. All this brings us to the topic of fraudulent concealment. A few of the definitions of fraudulent concealment provided by the Texas courts are: party having superior knowledge who takes advantage of another's ignorance of the law to deceive him by studied concealment and misrepresentation can be held responsible for that conduct. That's a good one. That's a damn good one right there. Knowing failure to disclose material information necessary to prevent statement from being misleading or making a representation despite knowledge that it has no reasonable basis in fact are actionable as fraud under Texas law. Party and interest may become liable for fraud by mere silent acquiescence and partaking of benefits of fraud. I love that one too. When circumstances oppose duty to speak and one deliberately remains silent. Silence is equivalent to false representation. So in other words, they have a duty to speak up, but they remain silent. Okay. Now, let me go back up to this where it said oath or affirmation. There's a difference between the two. An oath is to like God or a god of your religion. Okay. It doesn't specify which religion or anything. So, it could be to Shiva or whatever, or Isis or or Joshua or whatever. And an affirmation is without any kind of God. Okay, so just let you know the difference between oath and affirmation. But they're basically the same thing. You're swearing by, in an oath, you're swearing by a God. Okay, an affirmation, you're just swearing to a fact. Let's see. Okay, clean hands and fictitious plaintiffs. When a prosecuting attorney brings a cause of action to court accusing some poor soul with a crime in the secret maritime jurisdiction, he, or at least his client, needs standing to sue. All cases in law, equity, admiralty, or maritime are now classified as civil actions. That's true. That I've seen that with my own eyes in court documents. It's supposed to be a criminal matter, but it actually says civil. Okay, which is Roman law, by the way. If you go and look up common law and corpus juris secundum, it talks about other laws like civil law. Civil law is Roman law. Okay. Civil, maritime, and admiralty actions require a contract between the plaintiff and defendant for the plaintiff to have standing to sue. Everyone get that? Okay. These civil actions require a contract between the plaintiff and the defendant for the plaintiff to have standing to sue. There's no contract. There's all these fraudulent contracts, but produce one. None of them stand up to all the requirements for a contract. So anyway, moving on with this here. For the plaintiff to have standing and for the court to have jurisdiction of the subject matter, there must be in existence a bona fide. I think that's how you actually pronounce it, like not bona fide, but bona fide contract binding the accused into the criminal maritime jurisdiction, and the lawyer rat had better be able to get it properly into evidence, and they never do, by the way. This is the foundation of the venue jurisdiction and the subject matter jurisdiction of the court. Under the doctrine of clean hands, relief will not be granted to a party who, as an actor, I love that, as an actor, seeks to set the judicial machinery in motion and obtain some remedy. Such party in prior conduct has violated conscious or good faith or other equitable relief. One seeking relief cannot take advantage of one's own wrongdoing. Okay. Seriously, they cannot seek relief if they're doing wrong. That's it. And all the prosecutors are doing that. The plaintiff's attorney, prosecutor, is representing the state of Texas or the United States, both corporations. If you don't believe the state of Texas is a corporation, look up Article 6, Section 1 in the Texas Constitution. Is clear enough. If you don't believe that the United States is a corporation, it's right there in Title 28, Section 3002. Yeah, I know that. I knew that right off the top of my head. I recite that. I recite that in my dreams. The prosecuting attorney is representing a corporation, a fictitious plaintiff, and bringing a maritime claim on the presumption that a maritime contract exists between the state of Texas and the defendant, or more correctly, the ignorant victim. The ignorant victim does not know that this presumption even exists, does not know that the cause of action cannot be in the common law because a crime in law requires a corpus delicti, that's the body, that is to say the body of the crime or an injured party, okay, or harmed party, actually, harm, injury, or loss, actually. Anyway, and a corporation cannot be the body of the crime or an injured party because it is artificial, a fiction. Trust the author on this. There is plenty of well-settled authority, but it will not be cited here in the interest of brevity while covering the essentials. Because of constant government indoctrination and the lasting effects of cognitive dissonance, the fact that the cause is of a maritime nature is beyond the poor victim's comprehension. The ocean is a long way from Kansas, Dorothy. So how could so how could the accused victim of an alleged offense committed on the land end up in a maritime court and be bound to a presumed maritime contract? It's because they put high tide markers everywhere, like on top of mountains and stuff. That's why. That sums it up. Everything is under the ocean to them. The attorneys for the plaintiff are prosecuting the suit in maritime jurisdiction without evidence entered into the record of the contract binding the petitioner to the maritime law. Without such contract, the trial court is wholly in want of subject matter jurisdiction and venue jurisdiction. The doctrine of unclean hands applies to the attorneys for the plaintiff. The courts have held. I just had a thought. What if you had court on board an airplane? They couldn't do maritime jurisdiction. If you were above all the markers on tops of these mountains, if you were high enough up, they couldn't have maritime jurisdiction, could they? Now, well, planes could be considered ships, though. That's the thing. They actually obey the same laws as ships do. So, yeah, I don't know. That's a tricky one right there. Anyway, let me get back to this. It is old hat that a court called upon to do equity should always consider whether the petitioning party has acted with unclean hands. This consideration is rooted in the maxim that he who comes into equity must come with clean hands. Under the doctrine of unclean hands, a court may refuse to grant equitable relief to a plaintiff who has been guilty of unlawful or inequitable conduct regarding the issue in dispute. It is well settled that a party seeking equity cannot come into court with unclean hands. That's a good thing. Yeah, you can ask the prosecuting attorney, hey, under clean hands doctrine, are your hands clean? Yeah. Are you coming into equity with clean hands? That's a better way of phrasing it. Hey, Mr. Prosecutor, are you coming into equity with clean hands? I love that. Anyway, continuing on. The findings show fraud on the part of the party seeking legal subrogation. He does not come into the court with clean hands and is therefore not in a position to invoke the equitable principles upon which legal subrogation rests. Applying to legal subrogation, the maxim that one who seeks equity must come into court with clean hands. It's citing all these cases, and there are sites, court case sites here or whatever, but I'm skipping over those. Presumptions. A presumption is an inference in favor of a particular fact, a rule of law, statutory or judicial, by which finding of a basic fact gives rise to existence of the presumed fact until the presumption is rebutted. Yeah, okay, let me stop there. There's all kinds of presumptions that they have. All right. You have to rebut them. Okay, you have to rebut all their presumptions. So, you go into court and rebut those damn presumptions on paper. And that's what a notice of status can do. Oh, that reminds me. If you want my my sword and shield method, which has my notice of status in it, it has an old one actually. I just did a new one. But it's almost the same. So yeah, it has that, and it has all kinds of examples and stuff. If you want all that, you can go over to my YouTube page, which is Thunder Bear Courage. Okay. In fact, you can just type Thunder Bear Courage into DuckDuckGo, and you can see a whole bunch of stuff from me. But on my YouTube page, in the I forgot what they call that. Not comments, but the thing above the comments, in between the video and the comments, I post my contact information. So you can actually email me as well, and I have a link there for documents, and my Sword and Shield method is one of those documents. Now that I've done a brand new notice of status, I might update my Sword and Shield method. I'm not sure. I'm so damn busy. I have been going downtown every freaking day from last Monday to Friday. You know, so yeah, I've been like really super busy. But yeah, anyway, all information is there. Contact information is there. So if you need the information, it's there. Anyway, let's see. I'm gonna skip all this up here. You know what? I want to actually go back because it had some really good stuff before all that. Okay. Let's see. I'm sorry, I'm not actually looking at the chat right now. I get this page just. You know what? Actually, I can move the page so I can see the chat. Hang on. Oops. There we go. All right, cool. Let's pop it up here. Oh yeah, Cadet Custer's court martial is up here. Oh yeah. Let's see. While I'm on here, okay, it's talking about allocution and Rule 32. Okay, civil procedures. Okay, now this is what the Supreme Court has said in Green versus United States about the right of allocution. The design of Rule 32 did not begin with its promulgation. Whatever, that's a tough word to say. Its legal provenance was the common law right of allocution. As early as 1689, it was recognized that the court's failure to ask the defendant if he had anything to say before sentence was imposed. Oh, it's before sentence. Okay, sentence was imposed. Required reversal. Okay. Anything he had to say before sentence was imposed required reversal. Taken in the context of its history, there can be little doubt that the drafters of Rule 32 intended the defendant be personally afforded the opportunity to speak before imposition of sentence. We are not unmindful of the relevant major changes that have evolved in criminal procedure since the 17th century. The sharp decrease in the number of crimes which were punishable by death, the right of the defendant to testify on his own behalf, and the right to counsel. But we see no reason why the procedural rule should be limited to the circumstances under which it arose if reasons for the right it protects remain. None of these modern innovations lessen the need for the defendant personally to have the opportunity to present to the court his plea in mitigation. The most persuasive counsel may not be able to speak for a defendant, as the defendant might, with halting eloquence, speak for himself. We are buttressed in this conclusion by the fact that the rule explicitly affords the defendant two rights: to make a statement in his own behalf and to present any information in mitigation of punishment. We therefore reject the government's contention that merely affording defendants counsel the opportunity to speak fulfills the role of 32. Role of Rule 32. Okay. However, we do not read the record before us to have denied the defendant the opportunity to which Rule 32 entitled him. The single pertinent sentence the trial judge questioned, "Did you want to say something?" may well have been directed to the defendant and not to his counsel. A record, certainly this record, unlike a play, is unaccompanied with stage directions which may tell the significant cast of the eye cast of the eye or the nod of the head. It may well be that the defendant himself was recognized and sufficiently praised of his right to speak and chose to exercise his right through his counsel, especially if this conclusion warranted by the fact that the defendant has raised this claim 7 years after the occurrence. The defendant has failed to meet his burden of showing that he was not accorded the personal right which Rule 32 guarantees, and we therefore find that his sentence was not illegal. However, to avoid litigation arising out of ambiguous records, in order to determine whether the trial judge did address himself to the defendant personally, we think that the problem should be, as it readily can be, taken out of the realm of controversy. This is easily accomplished. Trial judges before sentencing should, as a matter of good judicial administration, unambiguously address themselves to the defendant. Hereafter, trial judges should leave no room for doubt that the defendant has been issued a personal invitation to speak prior to sentencing. Okay, now, as I said, Cadet Custer used this. He said, "Hey, I didn't sign that oath." And they were basing everything on that oath. And when they found out that he didn't sign the oath, he was let go. And of course, later on, he became General Custer. And, whatever. But yeah, that's very, very important. If everything goes south on you in a trial, you've got that one thing that's guaranteed to you. Okay. You need to invoke it, though, to really get it, make sure the judge knows, hey, I know about my right to a right of allocution. Okay. If you don't know the difference between those words, please look them up. Okay. RIGHT and RITE. So anyway, you've got that one opportunity there to just make everything go away. Where's the contract? Yeah, where's the contract? Judge, how can the prosecutor have standing if there is no contract? The prosecutor does not have standing. Boom. Okay. Let's see. Let me go up a little further. I don't know if I should start on the news now or, oh God. I don't know. There's so much. Okay. I did want to say something. Someone had asked me because she was having trouble with getting them to getting an electric company, I guess, or some company or whatever to send her a bill in her true name. Okay. And if she's listening, I hope she's listening. Maybe, I don't know. I forgot. I gotta look through and find out if she's if I can find that comment again. But anyway, yeah, you can say that it's a religious thing if you want. Especially if you're a Christian, because the legal system actually is like the work of, I guess, the devil or something, demons or whatever. One of the definitions for the word legal, it's a very old definition. It defines legal as the undoing of God's law. So, go look it up. Seriously, go look up the word devil in Black's Law Dictionary. Okay, look up the word devil in Black's Law Dictionary, please. You can actually download the Black's Law Dictionary. I've got, I think, the 4th edition, 8th edition downloaded onto my computer. A PDF, free PDF. So yeah, I mean, take advantage of that. If you can get I think I've got Bouvier's Law Dictionary as well. I don't know which edition on PDF, but take advantage of free PDFs. Seriously, because law dictionaries are expensive. They're like freaking absurdly expensive because not enough people really buy them, But you can go to a law library as well. I highly encourage you to go to a law library. And as a matter of fact, if you, especially if you are facing a court or something, by all means, go there and go check out well, not check out because you can't really check out some of these books for circulation. But go and look at like the law dictionaries and Corpus Juris Secundum, and just go through and look at what they've got. I mean, it's really fascinating. They got Roman laws around in there, the law library. They got all these kinds of laws and all kinds of stuff. You'd be surprised. Executive orders, even really really old executive orders, and what else? Just a whole bunch of stuff. And just go look through the law library. Let's see. Okay, I'll go ahead and read this. I've read this before. It's a Title 27, Code of Federal Regulations, Part 72.11. Makes almost all crimes, whether or not they are federal or state crimes, commercial crimes. In the Propeller Genes Chief, Supra, it was revealed that Admiralty courts have jurisdiction over interstate commerce, so it would follow that the crimes listed in 27 CFR 72.11 are cognizable in an Admiralty or maritime court, and such are commercial courts. Okay, they're all commercial courts. So as I said, the relevant part of the text is as follows: commercial crimes, any of the following types of crimes, federal or state: offenses against the revenue laws, burglary, counterfeiting, forgery, kidnapping, larceny, robbery, illegal sale or possession of deadly weapons, prostitution, including soliciting, procuring, pandering, white slaving, keeping house of ill fame, and like offenses, extortion, swindling, and confidence games, and attempting to commit, conspiring to commit, or compounding any of the foregoing crimes. Addiction to narcotic drugs and use of marijuana will be treated as if such were commercial crime. It's not, but it's treated as such. Okay. That code, I believe, is in my Sword and Shield method. So, yeah. Anyway, Congress has been repeatedly held by the court to have the power to extend the Admiralty and maritime jurisdiction by statute, and Congress has repeatedly exercised that power. Okay. Yeah, Congress is not real Congress, by the way. Congress is fake Congress. It's been fake Congress ever since April of 1861, I believe it was. Abraham Lincoln had declared martial law. He had to. He had no choice. So yeah, he declared martial law and forced Congress to come to meeting, as it were. And if he's doing that, then it's not real Congress. And Congress has been forced under martial law to meet ever since then. They cannot get rid of martial law. If they got rid of martial law, the entire South would just not be considered a part of the United States. And by the way, California is not a part of the United States either. Not the Republic. It is not a part of the Republic. It can't be. The Republic, for all intents and purposes, ceased to exist in April of 1861. California, I don't believe California was made a state until much later. Until like 20 years later or something, I think I'd have to go back and look again. I've got the Constitution for the state of California in my files too. I actually advise you to, if you got any, if you're going to court and stuff like that, get the state constitution as well. There's some really interesting things in these state constitutions. And by the way, Alabama has the longest constitution of all of the states and nations and everything. Their constitution is freaking long, and part of it, well, it's a long story. If you're, if you want to, if you're interested in it, you can look that up in Wikipedia. It's crazy. It's absolutely freaking crazy. But one thing Alabama did do fairly recently, I think I've covered this story, is they just said, hey, no more, legal marriages, no more marriage licenses. They said, look, if you're married, you want the state to record the fact that you're married, you have a contract, well, bring it. And Alabama will record it. I think that's awesome. Alabama doesn't do very many awesome things, but that is like so awesome. That's a step in the right direction right there. No more legal marriages in Alabama. They're all lawful. From that point on, they're all lawful. No more marriage licenses. Oh my God, it's incredible. It's absolutely incredible. I wish all the states would do that. I wish all of them would just go back to law, and and not try to teach people this bull crap that they teach in schools. Oh man, you know what? I need to go. Damn it! Let me see if I'm still on the air. Yeah, okay, I am. I need to do the the news stories. Oh well. I had a lot of stuff to read in there, and there's a lot of other documents too. Email me if you want these documents. Just email me, and I will send them to you. Okay. I've got a satire story for most. I thought it was funny. Just the title is funny. Man bitten by radioactive cat just lies around house all day. It's just, it's just a humorous little story. I thought it was funny. Let's see. Scroll down. Scroll through all these memes. I'm up on my my main Facebook page, by the way. Let's see. DuPont Air admitted in court to have raped his children for years but received no jail time. Of course not. He's an heir of the DuPont family. He's obscenely wealthy. Of course he's not going to receive any jail time. But in addition to that, actually, he could have claimed the domestic authority. Seriously. He can just say, well, yeah, I raped him and it's under domestic authority. Just go away. Because you know what? These fake courts, they have no jurisdiction. Of course, technically, common law courts don't have jurisdiction either. That's one of the drawbacks to the common law. It's one of the things I don't like about it, and then one of the reasons why I made my own laws. Because of things like that. It's like, well, okay, domestic authority is fine in most things, but if you're, raping your own kids, hey, that's got to stop. That's got to stop. So that's the reason why I wrote my laws like I wrote them. I really, truly wish that everyone would adopt those 7 laws. I really do. It's for the Quarry tribe. Okay. Quarry tribe, which is something I just made up, as I said. So the last show that I did. Yeah. Then brand new tribe. I've been so damn busy. I haven't had a chance to really work on it very much. But maybe next week. Let's see. Hang on. Gotta go through all these memes. I got a link to a YouTube video which I haven't gotten to see yet. Proof the birth certificates are traded on New York Stock Exchange. Okay, so I want to see that actually. I know they are actually. I really do. I've seen some documentation on that years ago. Let's see. Hang on. Oh well. Oh, it was another spoof story. Mark Zuckerberg sponsoring Area 51 raid to free his dad from captivity, and has Data from Star Trek as his dad. They do look a lot alike, actually. Okay. U.S. Supreme Court says no license necessary to drive automobile on public roads. Yeah, that's true. Let's see. Oh, Supergirl. Yeah, on Twitter. Yeah. The new oh geez, what do you call it? The trailer for the season of Supergirl is out, and yeah, Supergirl is wearing pants, a whole new outfit, actually, a whole new outfit. Um, I'm on Twitter, by the way, and yeah, I've been posting some things from Twitter. If you want my Twitter thing, it's like I said, all the contact information is on my YouTube video in that little section there. Lawyer who was lead plaintiff in New York stop and frisk case is still getting stopped and frisked. Yeah, he's crying about it too. It's like, well, yeah, lawyer's not going to be able to do crap. They're in that system. You know, that's it. Unless they leave. I've got something on one of my on my Facebook page. I can't remember where it's at though, and when I put it up there. It wasn't that long ago, but I like post like 20 or 30, 40 things a day. So anyway, about this lawyer who actually left the system. He'd become a Christian and he said, I can't do this anymore. I thought, wow, this is, this is great. That one of them actually had gotten some kind of morality and said, nope, can't do this anymore. But that's one out of how many million? Seriously. That should show you the vast majority of them are like either psychopaths or sociopaths, or they're in situational psychopathy or whatever. Judge caught on camera while allegedly strangling courthouse employee. This story is actually from a lawyer's site, so of course they're going to say allegedly. Yeah, allegedly. Well, it's on camera, but whatever. Yeah. Let's see. WandaVision will explain why Wanda is called Scarlet Witch. Yeah. The new TV series. Wanda, well, Scarlet Witch is from the Avengers, in case you're wondering, but she was never called Scarlet Witch in the movies. It's just in the comic books. Black Widow confirmed to take place after Captain America: Civil War and will reveal Budapest story. So yeah, it's the new Black Widow movie coming out. Study found that Facebook posts can predict 21 health problems. I'm just reading off the headlines because I've got way too many news stories. In case you're new to the show, this is basically what I do when it comes to the news. Comparing benefits for refugees and senior citizens, factcheck.org. Yeah, it's mostly false or falsely claims that each month refugees in the United States receive over 3 times more money in federal assistance. Yeah, there's no such thing as illegal refugees. Okay. that's what those posts or the memes are about. Illegal refugees. There's no such thing as an illegal refugee. Refugee is a type of status. It's time to find safe deposit box alternative. They're talking about safe deposit boxes. So if you have a safe deposit box, you might want to check the story out. It's from 2cents.lifehacker.com. Scientists use lasers to induce hallucinations in mice. What could go wrong? Yeah. Seriously, if they're inducing hallucinations in mice, how long is it going to be before they can induce hallucinations in us? Using lasers. Of course, the hallucinations are more like I don't know. There's more like seeing lines and stripes and stuff or whatever, and light patterns. Um, Man films cop breaking the law so it doesn't bully cops, harass them, and steal his camera. Yep, that's what they do. Bad apple like that question mark. Every cop in this department has been convicted of domestic violence. One is a sex offender. Just one? That surprises me, actually. Whole department, and there's just one of them that's a sex offender? Oh, at least you haven't caught the other ones, that's all. Everything you need to know when you're going to prison. And it was a very interesting article. Evidently, this guy wrote a book. Yeah, I don't know. The thing is, it's an English prison, so it's a little different. But yeah, I haven't read the book, but I have read the article. It's a very interesting article. Dealing with an annoying bug in Chrome, report it to Google, and you might get $30,000. So that's from mentalfloss.com. Chimpanzees bond by watching movies together too. Yeah, apparently so. I'm not surprised. Really, they have pretty good. Their intelligence is fairly high. I mean, hell, they can operate cell phones or smartphones actually. Watch movies and stuff, videos on smartphones, whatever. Israel's NSO group are malware. Slurp your cloud backups plus phone data. They misunderstood. Yeah, right. Yeah. Israel, they have backdoors in all these chips and stuff. So there is no such thing as cybersecurity when it comes to Israel. Literally breaking news. 2 people hurt as not one, but 2 self-driving space-age buses go awry. That's terrible. I kind of want self-driving cars and buses and stuff, especially the cars. I envision a future where you can just, call up a car on your app and you don't actually have to own a car. And it'll be like, they're like, within 2 minutes or whatever. Like a taxi, like calling a taxi, but driverless. And I know people say, well, you're costing jobs and stuff. And yeah, that's true. That is very true. You're costing jobs in the service industry, but I kind of like the idea of no driver, if it's safe. The problem is they're not safe yet. There's too many variables. Their artificial intelligence is just not there yet. Enjoying that 25 megabyte per second internet speed, America? Oh, it's just 6 megabytes per second? And you're unhappy? Can't imagine why. Yeah. It's talking about the things. 25 megabytes per second? That's it? Oh my God. That's to me, that's slow. To me, that's like really freaking slow. But whatever. How about at least a gigabyte per second? But yeah, they're talking about how the service providers are committing fraud. They found out they're committing fraud. France seeks science fiction writers to help future-proof its military against science fact. That was kind of an interesting little story. Let's see. SDCC 2019. That's San Diego Comic-Con 2019. Dawn of X in Marvel's next big thing panel. Yeah, they're talking about bringing X-Men into Marvel Universe. Yeah, the Marvel multiverse seems real and just announced Doctor Strange sequel. All right. Natalie Portman set to play female Thor in Marvel's Thor: Love and Thunder. Yeah, you know what? I should have anticipated that because Jane. Crap! I forgot her family name in the comics for some reason. I'm blanking out on it. Jane Foster. That's it. Jane Foster became Thor for a while. She took the title of Thor and wielded Mjolnir, the hammer of Thor, in the comics for a little while. So yeah. Anyway, I gotta take a break. Let me do this. We'll be right back after this.
You're listening to Flat Earth Radio Live, and this is the Flat Earth Man, and all you're watching is a puppet show. All y'all watching is a puppet show. Yeah, the whole world's a stage. The whole world's a stage, man. You're listening to Flat Earth Radio Live.
Find yourself mastering the beat. Tune in and listen every Saturday for the Geocentric Eccentric with West Blaze Music, our resident musician and spiritual brother in Christ Yahushua. The Geocentric Eccentric with West Blaze Music.
Check this
Yes,
out.
it's message in the music time once again, and only Flat Earth Radio has guided. Saturday, the true Sabbath. Lend a knee and bend an ear. Listen every Saturday for the Geocentric Eccentric with West Blaze Music.
Check this out.
Starting 5 o'clock p.m. on the West Coast, 8 o'clock p.m. on the East Coast,
Check this out.
and 7 o'clock p.m. Central.
Discs out.
The Geocentric Eccentric.
The Geocentric Eccentric.
With West Blaze Music. Only Flat Earth Radio has guided. The Geocentric Eccentric with West Blaze Music.
As bad as I wanna be. FlatEarthRadioLive.com. The Ferret.
Hey, John, you don't look so good. What's the matter?
Oh, I always feel tired and run down. You know, no energy. I think it's my poor diet or something.
Well, you know, John, I used to feel the same way. Couldn't sleep at night, couldn't stay awake in the daytime. That's when my doc told me that I had leaky gut syndrome.
Oh, wow. What'd you do? Surgery?
No way. I tried Tarsal. Tarsal is made with the finest, purest cream of tartar and MSM sulfur. And that's all. The fact that it contains all natural ingredients makes it especially desirable in today's toxic world. Tarsal is a white powder that you take every day with water or juice. Taken regularly, Tarsal can clear your leaky gut right up.
Tarsal, huh? So what else does Tarsal do?
Tarsal can help with acne, psoriasis, constipation, gallstones, heartburn, hemorrhoids, hypertension, IBS, and UTI.
Wow, that's quite a formula.
Yes, it is. And Tarsal also helps you to relax, repels insects, and can help you stop smoking.
So how do I find Tarsal?
That's easy. Just go to tarsal.com or call 619-363-1264. Try a bottle today and begin feeling normal again.
TARSUL.com. Try Tarsal today.
Asking these questions that no one ever asked before because we didn't even think about this. I think it's like God unlifting the veil, you know? He's starting to show people, look, you want to believe this? It's a lie. People are asking questions and truth is going to prevail. It's like, yeah, the biggest problem is that we're not able to eliminate questions, so therefore we can't assimilate. And, you know, people are asking questions and truth is going to prevail.
Join your host, Shelley Lewis, every Wednesday afternoon at 5 o'clock p.m. Pacific Daylight Time, 7 o'clock Central, and 8 o'clock Eastern Standard Time. Down the rabbit hole with Shelley Lewis.
Down the Rabbit Hole with host Shelley Lewis. Only here on Flat Earth Radio Live. The Ferret.
Yeah, I mean, it's laughable what is, tried to pass off as, and you know what's so great now about YouTube and about these video platforms is, back in the day, you got one shot to see this stuff on television, and that was it. I mean, you believed it was true. You saw it once. Maybe you saw it on a rerun. Maybe on the other news channel, they would rerun some of this footage. But now it's all been released, and people have the ability to look at it and to pick it apart and to really think about it. Like we talked earlier about the lunar landing. Now that people have the technology at their fingertips on their laptops to be able to speed up the lunar landing footage. You have the land rover going around, and you have the guys hopping around in slow motion. Speed that up 200%, and it looks like they went out in the desert and filmed that. But here's something that I'm going to tell you as a video guy. Here's why I believe that the lunar landing was faked. Because there is no way you can have a power source that strong at that time in history, and there's no way you could transmit that video signal all the way to Earth. Absolutely 100% not. Let me tell you something. I have just on my, if I have a handheld video camera and I want, and let's say I'm shooting a scene and the producer wants to see what I'm shooting. So they have a transmitter in their hand and they have a battery on my camera. The battery that I have is about the size of a brick. It's more square, but it's about the same mass as a brick. And it only lasts for maybe an hour and a half. And that signal only goes a couple 100 feet. Now you're going to tell me that on that teeny little spaceship with that teeny little camera, they're going to have enough power to transmit a full color video signal all the way down to Earth. And I can also tell you this, that when they promised a full color video signal, the station that broadcasted the lunar landing, they were pissed because they weren't getting raw video feed. What they were getting was called a kineoscope. And for those of you who don't know what that is, that was an editing process used up until the late 1990s. And I've actually seen the kineoscope technology and utilized it when I worked in a film lab, and it's very interesting. Basically, it's an editing tool. So you have a screen, basically it's a television screen, and you shoot that with a film camera. So now it's on 16 millimeter film. So what they did with those videos, in theory, why you see a black and white image of the lunar landing, although they claim the full color videos exist, was what NASA says they did was transmitted the full color video signal, filmed it on a kinescope, black and white on 16 millimeter film, and then released that to the networks. So therefore, it was not a live event, because to get film processed, it takes hours, and it's a whole process that generally takes about 6 hours to complete, even with the most efficient film laboratories. So why would they get this crappy, grainy, black and white film image when they could have broadcasted color, which at the time the networks were pissed that they didn't have the ability to do, that NASA denied them? But anyway, that's neither here nor there. The whole kineoscope thing, that's a side note. My thing is, there is no way with that technology and with batteries being as big and as weak and as heavy as they were, you could have broadcast that signal from the moon. Impossible.
All right. I just want to thank everyone who has donated to lvrlive.com. We really appreciate it. If you'd like to donate to help the station, keep running, and maybe even get us some equipment so that I can carry out interviews, just please go up to lvrlive.com and donate. Okay, there's a donate button. Just click on that and follow the instructions. And we all would greatly appreciate that. We are growing as a station, and it takes money. It does take money. So yeah, Just help us out if you can. Thanks. Okay, back. So, American cops now steal more property than all U.S. burglars combined. Okay. All of them, I mean, come on. Seriously? Yeah, they do. The cops are the burglars. Man, that's a tough word to say. They're the robbers. They're the thieves. U.S. Navy and Lockheed Martin officially introduced directed energy weapons into warfare. I haven't gotten to actually read that article yet. But yeah, they're officially after all the what is it, the Paradise fires and stuff, the fires in Paradise, California. Yeah, they got to burn down Paradise, oh, I love this meme here. Just do what they say and you won't get hurt is what you tell hostages, not people in a free country. Let's see. Sorry, all these memes here. CBS News interview with ICE whistleblower interrupted by federal agents. I haven't gotten to actually look at that news story either. But yeah, probably so. Murder rates drop as concealed carry permits soar. Of course. If you don't know that someone's got a gun and you're a bad guy, it's like, well, are you gonna take the chance that they got the gun? Whatever. Panic attacks and anxiety episodes linked to vitamin deficiencies in groundbreaking study. Yeah, it's our soil is so depleted, and growing food in the depleted soil and just whatever. Oh yeah, here's something I put up here. I don't know, I forgot where I grabbed this from. It says legal or lawful. It is crucial to define the difference between legal and lawful. The generic Constitution references genuine law. The present civil authorities and their courts use the word legal. Is there a difference in the meanings? The following is quoted from a Dictionary of Law, 1893. Lawful, in accordance with the law of the land, according to the law, permitted, sanctioned, or justified by law. Lawful properly implies a thing conformable to or enjoyed by law. Legal, a thing in the form or after the matter of law or binding by law. A writ or warrant issuing from any court under color of law is a legal process, however defective. See, legal, Latin, legalis, pertaining to the understanding, the exposition, the administration, the science, and the practice of law, as the legal profession, legal advice, legal blanks, newspaper, implied or imputed in law, opposed to actual legal books, more to the letter, form, / appearance, and lawful to the to the spirit, substance, content of the law. Legal is more appropriate for conformity to positive rules of law. Lawful is lawful for accord with ethical principle. Legal imports rather than the forms, appearances of law are observed, that the proceeding is correct in method, that rules prescribed may be obeyed. Lawful, that the right is act in substance, that moral quality is secured. Legal is an antithesis of equitable and the equivalent of constructive. Okay, that's Abbott's Law Dictionary 24. Yeah, it's the opposite of equitable. Legal is the opposite of equitable. So yeah. Let's see. It's this. I got. I posted how to switch court to Queen's Bench from Carl Lentz. Unfortunately, when I posted it up here to Facebook, it didn't do the letters in red. So you might be missing something. So if you want this, please, send me an email and ask me for it for all car lens stuff. Now, there's a YouTube video that says legal tender no longer required for debt repayment 307 US 847 in 1939 Public Law 95-147. I haven't checked it out yet. I thought it was kind of interesting though, so I went ahead and popped it up there. Let's see. Gotta scroll down to okay. Body cam shows cowardly cop trespasses, shoot docile dogs wagging their tails. Yeah. If that property was actually under a allodial title, that cop would be in serious trouble. Okay. Most likely the property was not under a allodial title. It looks like somewhere in the suburbs, so whatever. I had read somewhere, I don't know, one of the documents I have a long time ago talking about purple fences, setting up a purple fence in order to show that it's true domestic authority. And purple is, of course, the color of royalty. Florida cop who raped female driver during traffic stop gets 2 months in jail. Photography is not a crime. Yeah. Massachusetts police ask residents to refrain from crime until after the heat wave passes. And of course, I put in, let's see. Oh, I thought I put it in comment up here. Anyway, I put on there somewhere on there. Are the police going to refrain from committing crimes during the heat wave? That would be cool if they refrain from committing crimes during the heat wave, and if everyone else refrained from committing crimes, then yeah, you would have slow news day, I guess. Let's see. Cop murdered 3-month-old baby. Prosecutors say then raised $17,000 online. Yeah, he murdered his own baby and then raised actually $17,618 online. So he just thought he'd profit from murder. Police commissioner arrested for questioning city's use of facial recognition. So you have a police commissioner that actually said, hey, maybe we shouldn't be doing this crap. And they arrested him. Yeah. I haven't actually read the article, but whatever. Let's see. I've got, if you haven't been up to my Facebook page, you should check it out. There's a lot of stuff there. Oh, I got this little cartoon thing up here. It says, we did it. We jumped to mentions. And the other guy says, but to which one? And the first guy says, let me ask that guy over there. Hey, who is the current president? And the guy over there says, what is the president? And the guy says, we're staying here. And this one. Oh, well, I got some really funny memes on here too. You really should see it. Oh, yeah. And there's one here that says, tired of boiling water every time you make pasta? Boil a few gallons at the beginning of the week and freeze it for later. Oh, my. Let's see. Boy, I got a lot of memes on here. Oh, well, let's see. Scrolling through. I got a lot of articles that I've posted and everything. I got something from Wikipedia, National Lawyers Guild. It talks about National Lawyers Guild, and it's kind of interesting, a little read. Let's see. You got some cat photos up here too. I think I got them from Flat Earth Cats, which is a pretty good page to go to. A must-see: clean energy technology, the Serial Effect 0 point generator. I've heard of this before. It's anyways, a link to a YouTube video, and I wasn't able to download that video. Normally I can download videos, but occasionally I come across one that they just don't want you to have. You know, it's like they just don't want you to archive it. I think that's what's happening with some of these videos. Let's see. Oh, Rick and Morty Gluty official exclusive season 4 clip from the San Diego Comic-Con 2019. I think it's probably not available anymore because it's got this gray picture on it. So I don't know. I can't click on the link right now because it's just whatever. Cops shoot handcuffed 15-year-old boy, left him in the street for hours as he bled to death. I told you, they're psychopaths. Freaking psychopaths. U.S. should close migrant concentration camps before complaining about Xinjiang abuses, Chinese media says. Yeah, the Chinese media is actually calling the U.S. out on human rights violations. Think about that for a moment. How bad do the human rights violations have to be for China to call you out? Oh my God. Family court is a global criminal enterprise. Harvard Law Review. It's whatever. It's not actually a story. It's just a meme or something. I haven't checked it out yet. Global. I have a problem with the word global there. Court rules vaccines contribute to and cause SIDS death. Deaths. Yeah, they do. And the court has ruled it. All right, cool. All right. Oh, I love this meme. This woman is on the phone. She says, "Hello, police. Help. A violent psychopath is trying to kill me." And the police officer on the other end says, "Please direct them to our website to download a job application." Oh, maybe I shouldn't laugh because it in a way is sad because it's so true. You know, military eyes 16-year-olds as ranks in candidates dwindle. Yeah, no one's wanting to join the military. Gee, I wonder why. Maybe people are trying to wake up or starting to wake up. Yeah, and now they're wanting to go after the 16-year-olds. They're talking about it. Let's see. Florida sheriff deputy arrested after planting drugs on innocent people. Yep, that happens all the time. Stop fighting it. America is a monarchy, and that's probably for the best. That's from WashingtonPost.com. I haven't read that article yet. But yeah, bit true there. New Jersey cop overdoses on heroin in police car while on duty. And of course, I really like that one. I know it sounds kind of mean and everything, but yeah, they're just, oh my God. I don't know what to say, really. Another meme. Stop saying policeman or policewoman. Just use the gender neutral term pig. Yeah, be careful though, demonizing the enemy like that. Except, well, they are kind of demons, aren't they? I don't know. Brzezinski says it's infinitely easier to kill than control 1 million people. Yes, I've heard that before. I heard that. I've never actually gotten any. I don't know what you call it. I hadn't done any research on it, but I've heard that before. Let's see. Priests and nuns arrested for protesting Trump's immigration policies. Yeah. Yeah, you protest those policies. Yeah, that's it. Anyway, I Damn it. Let's see. Hang on. Another travel ban. IRS moves to revoke passports for unpaid taxes. Yeah. Taxes are all fraudulent. I guess I've got to end the show pretty soon here. I'm getting towards like the last 5 minutes of the show. Oh man. Cop who accidentally shot 10-year-old when aiming for family dog can't be sued. Federal court rules. Yeah. Family dog probably didn't do crap. But the cop probably said, I fear for my life. And he's such a lousy shot. He accidentally shot the 10-year-old. Oh my God. I swear, it's just, there's evil. Of course, it's been like that throughout all of history, really. Think about it. I don't know. I think even though we've got all this evil happening, I also see things getting better. I do get really good stories from time to time, and I might not post them, but I do get them, and I don't know. Sometimes I post them. I think people's are waking up a bit. Let me do this one right here. It's from unbelievablefactsblog.com. British India tried to get rid of cobras by offering a reward for captured snakes. Locals started breeding cobras and giving them to the government to collect the reward. The British found out and stopped the program. The breeders then released their snakes, causing the population to increase. Oh my God. I thought that was so funny. Power tripping cop shows why people are losing faith in police. Yeah. Anyway, I think, hang on a second. Number of people killed by Hitler, 1. Number of people killed by Nazi law enforcers, 13 million. Moral of the story, evil men have no power unless other evil men are willing to just follow orders. Think about that. Seriously. Those are just whatever. Oh, another meme. Scooby-Doo taught us that real monsters were always human. Yeah. I don't know. Maybe there's demons that are in human disguise, perhaps. I don't know. FBI had 12-page file on George Carlin because he made jokes about government. So anyway, I've got to stop the broadcast now. So everyone have a good night. And if you're pulling out of a parking lot at night, please turn on your headlights and your taillights if you have a defective car. Don't give the police any reason to pull you over and shoot you or rape you or rob you or whatever, or all of them. So